Gibson 335. Oh. She is a pretty one, isn't she? So it may be a bold statement to say, is the 335 the best guitar ever made? But I think it's certainly a strong contender, certainly for that title. Now, first things first, I should say that what I have here, this is a Gibson 345. Now, all intents and purposes is exactly the same thing as a regular 335. The Gibson 335 came out in 1958, as did this guitar. Not this actual guitar, but the 345 came out in 1958. And the difference being with this guitar, it's got gold hardware, it's got different inlays, and it's got a gas knob, which I'll talk about in a minute. Now, the original 345 had a stereo input, and you had to get a stereo lead, and to be honest, it seemed a bit of a nightmare. This guitar is mono, so exactly like a normal 335, you know. So the difference, like I say, it's got gold hardware, these cool inlays, and this gas knob, the Varitone, which I'll talk about in a second. Now, what makes this guitar so special for me, and why I think it's a strong contender for being one of the best guitars ever made, is that it can cover so many different styles. It can do the lovely Hendrix R&B chordal type playing. It sounds lovely for funk guitar as well. if you want to be really naughty, you can do a bit of metal with it. And of course, when playing a guitar like this, you can't help but play a bit of blues with it. Now, if you're familiar with my playing, I am a Strat guy. You know, I grew up playing Strats. I got my first Strat type guitar, which was a Yamaha Pacifica 112, after a year of playing, I think. You know, it was my second ever electric guitar, first being a Telecaster copy, then I got that, you know, and I'm very much at home on a Strat, you know, it's my friend. But I do love the sound of, you know, humbuckers and Gibsons and whatnot. And I have a Les Paul. I love my Les Paul. I've never been, you know, 100% super comfortable when playing it. You know, I never feel fully me, though, you know, I get lovely comments from people that they like the sound when I play a Les Paul. But for me, I'm never super comfortable. Maybe I haven't found the Les Paul for me, you know. But with this guitar, and, you know, 335, 345s, 355s, all those kind of things. No, these type of guitars, I feel very at home because, you know, first of all, it kind of feels like an adult's guitar when I play this. When I got this guitar, which scarily is nearly 5 years ago, I felt like I was a grown-up. You know, I was playing a grown-up's guitar, could have the bigger body. Now, I understand some people may struggle or don't feel comfortable playing a guitar like this because it is a bit bigger, especially if you're a small, you know, a smaller boy or girl, you know. Now I'm 6'1", so it's not too bad on me, you know, it doesn't look silly on me or anything like that. Well, that's for the viewer's discretion there. But it feels like I'm playing, you know, a real grown-up's guitar. And I remember the first time I played this with a band, you can feel I had the amp reasonably turned up and I could feel air coming. I thought, what is that? And there was air being pushed out, obviously through the volume, which makes it almost feels like it's alive. But coming from that Strat world, I felt very comfortable playing this, you know, because it's like a Strat. It's got the curves in the right place, you know, it's beautifully curved, you know, the dimensions, everything of the guitar to me is perfect. The way it sits. Now, like I say, some people don't like the slightly bigger body. I don't mind that. And again, I feel like I'm really getting hold of the guitar. The neck's obviously, you know, not super huge, but it's got a nice bit of girth there. I don't like skinny necks. So this guitar being, you know, obviously, if you don't know, a semi-hollow guitar, these are hollow here, and in the middle there's a big block. Now, Les Paul, the man Les Paul, when he went to Gibson in, I think, the late 40s, when he designed what he called the log, or I think Gibson called it the log, and it was literally, you know, one of the first solid body guitars. I think it was he might have done it before Leo, I'm not sure, but the log, our picture will pop up now. And, you know, he had the idea of, you know, a solid body guitar, and he got a bit of wood, he stuck a magnet on it for a pickup, strings, and then he got wings to make the guitar. Now, that then went on to be the Les Paul, but really, he designed this, because that's exactly what this is here. It's a solid bit of wood in the middle, and then it's got the wings on the side, 2 humbuckers, Bob's your teapot, Fanny's your aunt. Really, Les Paul the man designed the Gibson 335. So as I say, being a Strat man, this has always been very comfortable for me playing. And when I think of a guitar, a lot of times you think of Strats, but also for me, I think of this. When I was a kid, and still now, my favourite film is Back to the Future. My McFly, funny enough, played a Gibson 345 in that, which looked very much like this, except it had a big speed. Under the 335 umbrella, you got 335s, then there was the 345, you got a 355, and way to spot a 355, it's got slightly bigger block inlays, and a lot of times it's on the first fret as well. B.B. King used a 355 a lot. And actually, as I said that, 355s, it seems Americans will say 335s, 345s, 355s. And in the British, we say 335, 345, 355 and stuff like that. I've always called it a Gibson 335. And then I know the Americans and maybe other people in the country, in the world will call it a 335. But for me, I'm a Brit, it's a 335. So yes, you've got 335s, 345s, 355s, and you've got the Trini Lopez as well. Now, if you don't know what a Trini Lopez is, if you check out Times Like These video by Foo Fighters, and even Elvis used a Trini Lopez, and looks very much like this, except the F-holes are a bit more futuristic, and it's almost like got a big Fender headstock, or if you even think of like a Firebird, that's probably a better way of thinking of it. It's like a Firebird headstock with a body like this, with slightly futuristic for the late 50s, early 60s F-holes. Really, really cool guitar. I would like one myself actually one day. So Marty McFly played one in Back to the Future. My old guitar teacher, God bless him, he had a 335. I wasn't hip to ask him on years or anything back then, but I'm going to guess it was like a 70s one. I remember the red had almost faded to like a pink kind of colour. And also, thinking about it, most of my favourite guitar players have played or do play a 335. Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, Richie Sambora, Eric Clapton, Michael Landau, even Stevie Ray Vaughan played a 335 from time to time. So there is something very special about these guitars when you think of the greatest guitar players ever. You know, obviously when you think of one of these, you think Chuck Berry, B.B. King, Freddie King. You know, they all use those sounds, and all those guitar players I've just mentioned, they all know a thing or two about guitar tone. Now, I've mentioned about this gas knob, as I called it, the Varitone, which came on the 345, and it just adds a little bit of versatility. To be honest, I very rarely use it. If I do use it, it's only the first 3 notches I use it on. Now, if I have it on the first knob here, your lovely, beautiful Gibson sound. Now, what it does, each turn, you're putting the pickups out of phase, really. It's adding inductors and captors and all that kind of stuff. And like I say, I only would use the first 3. So if I knock it down one, next one, next one, starting to get a bit quieter and stuff, next one. You know, so I haven't changed the volume, that's the last one there, right? So, like I say, now I think it's, what is it, the 3rd one? You've got that kind of BB kind of sound. That kind of stuff, you know, which is nice. And you know, if I want a bit more of a single kind of coil, kind of, you know, it's not a single coil, but you know, it's just a different tonal flavour as opposed to that all the time, you know. So it's, like I say, it's cool. I didn't get it because I wanted it. I got this guitar because I played an E chord. I was like, uh-oh. Another thing worth talking about, when I think of the Gibson 335, you've got 2 camps. You've got blues players will usually gravitate towards a red. And then you get your jazzers what go for like a sunburst kind of colours. Now, of course, there's obviously a load of different colours. Chris Cornell had a lovely kind of mint green kind of colour 335 signature guitar. But when I think of them, I think of red and I think of a sunburst, you know. Of course, Dave Grohl, yes, he had a blue one, in case you're shouting out to me. But these are the 2 colours, and I've just always loved the red, that cherry red, and you know, it's beautiful. And Larry Carton, you know, he's that cool, he's even got a colour named after him on his signature 335 or 335. It's called a Carlton Burst. But yeah, blues guys usually go for the red, and your jazzers usually go for that lovely sunburst kind of colour. But for me, this guitar, the Gibson 335, has that lovely marriage of the beautiful Gibson sound that we know and love, but the versatility to be able to use it in so many different musical styles. Whereas with the Les Paul, it has that Les Paul sound, which is great, of course, you know, we all love that Les Paul sound. But if you want more from it, that's where I believe this guitar comes in, because it can get that Les Paul sound, but then can cover so many different styles as well. And that's why a lot of times you often hear these guitars are called, especially the vintage guitar ones, are called burst killers, as a lot of the vintage 335s are better guitars than the infamous 59 Les Paul. So I'd love to know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Is this one of the best guitars, or is this the best guitar ever made? You know, let me know in the comment section below. And I should give a shout out actually to my lovely lady, as for Christmas I got this new strap and it just fits perfectly to this guitar. I love it, you know. So I had a brown one since I've had it, which has been cool. But this guitar now has just made this guitar even cooler. I think it sounds better for it as well. So you've got black, got red on the back. Oh, I love it. So here you go. So this guitar, I've always called it Alan McFly as well, because my first guitar teacher was called Alan, as I mentioned. He had one of these guitars, and McFly for obvious reasons. So yeah, it's a good guitar. So anyway, the best guitar ever made. As always, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It'd be great to know all your thoughts. And I hope you're doing well as always. I've been Mike Bradley. I'll see you soon. Mike Bradley signing out. Bye.